Back in 1997, I was very concerned about power conditioning. Yeah, I know that's kind of nerdy, but I was. And the reason I was is because knowing the importance of power to how our systems perform in their sound quality is something that was very evident to me at the time. And I tried a number of power conditioners to clean up the AC power coming in, and all of them made the sound cleaner. It took a layer of grit and harshness away, but at the same time, it bleached the sound. It made it sound worse. And overall, I was looking for a richer sound, a fuller, richer body experience. And I wasn't getting that through the power conditioners of the day, which were all passive. So I invented an electronic version called a power plant. It's basically a giant power amplifier. The power plants don't change the way that we hear music. They change the way that we experience music. And that's a big difference. Let me give you an example. When we get a new employee or when a customer comes by and wants to hear, well, what's this power plant do? I bring them into our listening room. I sit them down and say, I'm going to do 2 quick demos for you. We're going to play something with the power plant powering only the power amplifier. And then I'm going to plug the power amplifier directly into the wall and play the same track for you and see if you can hear the difference. The first reaction that people have is, oh, the first one sounded like the person was actually in the room, and now it sounds more like a recording. And that's the difference of experiencing music in a new way. So let's take a look at what's inside of a power plant. So this is a power plant. That's what's inside of a power plant. You can see it's got heat sinks, transistors, capacitors, all the electronics that make a power amp work. This particular unit goes inside of a P3 or a P5, and this big mother goes inside of a P10. In fact, this is only half of what goes inside of a P10. Same thing, along here you've got the transistors and the capacitors and electronic components that make up a power amplifier. A P10 can do up to about 1,500 watts, so it's a rather large power amplifier. A P5 and a P3 can do between 1,000 and 1,200 watts. A lot of it dependent on this. This is the power transformer for a P3, and this is the power transformer for a P5, and this sucker is the power transformer for a P10. Extremely large, lots of power, but very, very different than a traditional passive power conditioner, like this. This is a single zone passive power conditioner. It's a good one. It goes inside of the power base, and for cleaning the little bits of cell phone noise, interference from radio stations that comes in, this is a great device, but it's not going to give you the same experience that you get listening to music with a power plant. As I explained earlier, with a power plant, the experience you get is actually being in the space where it's recorded. And that is such a big deal. You really need to hear that for yourself. Isn't this just the coolest picture you've ever seen of Paul McCartney? A good friend of mine, Chalky Davis, took this, and there's not many of these in the world. The reason I show it to you is that if you want to hear what McCartney has to say musically on your system, or if you want to get the most out of anything on a disc, whether it's a vinyl disc or an optical disc like this, you need perfect power. And the only way you're going to get perfect power is with a power plant. You have to regenerate new power that's low impedance, regulated, free of any kind of distortion. And only power plants provide that. Power conditioners simply cannot do that. I would encourage you to take one home, give it a try, and see what you've been missing and see what I'm talking about. You won't fail to hear the difference. I promise. Thanks for watching.